The last week has seen many important and tragic developments in the Syrian civil war. In the southern end of the country, in the outskirts of Damascus, government forces have been heavily bombarding the rebel enclave of eastern Ghouta. More than 200 civilians have been killed since Sunday, including 54 children. The international community has called for a ceasefire to bring the outbursts of extreme violence to an end. To facilitate a ceasefire, the United States has appealed directly to Syria's backers in Moscow.
We call on all parties to commit to the unconditional de-escalation of violence. Russia must end its support of the Assad regime and its allies. They're responsible for the attacks, for the dire humanitarian situation in East Ghouta, and for the horrendous civilian death toll.
Meanwhile, on the northern front of the war, on the Turkish border, the Turkish invasion of the Kurdish-held territory surrounding the city of Afrin is meeting serious setbacks. The Turkish military is trying to expand a buffer zone on the Syrian side of their border. Though the Syrian government does not control Afrin, they are sending forces to fight against Turkey. The Damascus-allied Lebanese militant group Hezbollah seems to have entered the fight on the side of the Kurds. Turkey claims to have repelled an independently operating, pro-government Shiite militia, possibly referring to Hezbollah.
Yesterday, in the talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin and Iranian President Hassan Rouhani, we had an agreement on these matters. Unfortunately, as you know, these kinds of terror organizations sometimes take wrong steps with the decisions they take by themselves. It is not possible for us to allow this. They will pay a heavy price for this.
Russia finds itself in a difficult position with the Kurds. On one hand, they're the patrons of the Syrian government, but on the other, they've been working closely with Turkey. Russia also lost a significantly large force recently while attacking an American and Kurdish position on the Euphrates, and have repeatedly denounced the Kurdish forces as an American project. Statements by Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov illustrate the complicated balance they are required to take, while also making a point about the sovereignty of Syria against the Turkish incursion against Kurdish-held territory. He also stated the following:
The fact that some time ago a part of the Kurdish population in Syria's north had declared autonomy didn't help the resolution. Neither did the actions of the U.S. and its coalition aimed at supporting those intentions. Kurdish autonomy and even the creation of local governing bodies which were openly introduced as insubordinate to Damascus.
These escalations show that the Syrian civil war is about to enter another destructive stage.